Story 1. As a veterinarian, people think I play with puppies and kittens all day, but it's often dealing with sick pets and having tough conversations with owners. Story 2. I'm a librarian, and people think we just read books all day. In reality, we manage databases, assist with research, and conduct community programs. Story 3. Vegetable farmer. We get so many applicants wanting to connect to the soil, yet have never touched a shovel before. So many people don't seem to understand that farming is manual labor with long hours and hardship every day. And it's all just to limp by. We aren't making much money. Story 4. As an electrician, the misconception that it is not a skilled profession is frustrating. It requires rigorous training and adherence to safety standards. Story 5. Fire sprinkler designer here. Fire sprinkler water is not clean and clear like the movies depict. That water more than likely has been in those pipes for decades and is filled with corrosion and cutting oil. As soon as a sprinkler goes off, you are getting doused with black tar water. Story 6. As a software developer, I am tired of hearing that we are all just nerdy guys who code in dark rooms all day. It is actually highly collaborative. Story 7. Software engineer here. No, we can't just hack into anything. And no, we can't fix your printer. We're not tech support. We live in a world of code, not hardware. Story 8. That graphic design is fun, cool, exciting, and we will do it for peanuts just because we enjoy it. Sorry to break it to you, but I have bills to pay, and most of the time, I am trying to protect the client from making really bad decisions because they feel they could do it themselves if they could just draw a little better. Story 9. Tech support. We didn't start out angry. 1. Turn it off, then turn it on again. No, we're not lazy. That really does solve a majority of problems. And no, shutting off your monitor is not the same as shutting down your computer. 2. When we ask you if it's plugged in, follow the cord all the way from your computer to the wall. 3. If the computer gives you a message with an error code, write it down or take a screenshot. 4. Describe the problem, but only what is necessary. I don't care why you were emailing your aunt. I do care about the message that popped up when you clicked send. 5. If I come to look at your computer, get out of the way. No, I cannot fix anything if you are sitting in your chair in front of your computer. 6. Printer problem? Take it out back and shoot it. I would rather work on anything else before printer problems. Story 10. I'm a longtime caregiver for my mother, who lives with dementia. For some reason, people don't consider it work. That includes doctors. I'm on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can't leave for long periods of time. My own health deteriorated. Geriatric care costs are astronomical. Yet, all people hear is, "You're not working." Story 11. People think being a chef is glamorous thanks to cooking shows, but the reality is long hours in a high-stress environment. Story 12. I am a graphic designer, and no, I cannot just whip up a complex project in an hour. Good design takes time and thought. Story 13. As a veterinarian, I'm most certainly not in this for the money. I also don't magically know what is wrong with your dog or cat just by waving my magic stethoscope. Story 14. I'm a handyman. None of those things that happen in those human mating ritual documentaries that you watch on the internet have ever happened to me. Story 15. Men working in kindergarten are wrongfully labeled as pedophiles. It's challenging to find a male role model for your children before 5th grade, especially in Germany. Story 16. Musician. You're lucky to be born with talent. I worked my whole life, practicing every single day, invested so much money in great teachers and great gear to be able to do what I do for a living. Story 17. I'm a locksmith, and people often think it's just about cutting keys. It involves complex problem solving and security expertise. Story 18. Madam, it's an open intake facility. We place animals for adoption and partner with multiple rescues. We don't just kill animals for fun. We try to get them into better placements, but recognize that we are the first line. We get dogs from various places, with various backgrounds in various medical and behavioral states. We are picking up other people's created problems. Story 19. Yes, the plane can fly itself for the most part. The flying part is the easy part, and we offload some of it to automation so we can focus on other tasks. It's like showing cruise control in a car to someone who has never driven a car or seen a road before, and then them saying, "Oh, I'd be a great driver. It does everything itself." Story 20. I work as a therapist. Lately, I have been seeing many posts suggesting we're all psychopaths in it for the money. I find it sad. I don't do this for the paltry relative income. I actually care deeply about everyone I see. I cannot solve all your problems, but I am zealous to help us try. Massive amounts of income? I can tell you how much I have made from personal income off clients in the past 5 years. 0. I am a government employee. Story 21. Call center customer service agent in telecommunications. For the last 12 years, I've had to guide thousands of customers through the phone. It's not an easy job. I have to remember the specifications of all the new cellular devices, all the codes for our ancient DOS-based system, and above all that, I have to deal with people who have issues breathing and speaking at the same time. It's exhausting. At the end of the day, my body is awake and ready, but my mind is mush. Oh, and I do it in 2 languages. Story 22. Veterinary technician here. We do not play with puppies and kittens all day. We are not in it for the money. We are actually severely underpaid and underappreciated. We do not get kickbacks for recommending certain foods or products. We do not hate animals. We love them so much. It's heart-wrenching when people say, "Oh, I just love animals too much to do what you do." Your pet isn't themselves at the vet. I know your pet is sweet and whatever at home, but they can be very anxious and have fear aggression with us. We prescribe drugs because your pet has a right to an anxiety-free visit. No, we don't have X-ray hands. Do the diagnostics. Story 23. I'm a paramedic. I have seen some stuff. I don't want to talk about it, so please don't ask what the worst thing I have seen is. Story 24. I'm an attorney. A lot of people, maybe most people, have this bizarre idea that a court case turns on who has the better attorney. As if we're wizards, hurling eldritch beams of light at one another until one of our minds snap and the empty husk slumps to the floor. The judge whispers a fey enchantment, his fingers curling in an unknown, arcane sign, and the victor is bathed in emerald light. A bad attorney can absolutely sink your case, but once you reach a level of basic competence, the facts of the case are almost exclusively what drive victory or defeat. I can make clever arguments all day, but if you assaulted an orphan to steal his Pokemon cards, my twisted magics will not avail you. Story 25. That IT can fix anything. Usually we can, but most of the time it won't justify the cost or my time. As for smaller things or printers, yes, we can. We just happen to be able to Google things. I don't have a manual about everything in my head. I have Google in my pocket and on your screen. Story 26. I'm a martial arts student and instructor, specifically in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, mixed martial arts, and historical European martial arts. And we joke that there are 2 things that all men think they're good at despite a complete lack of education or experience, and they have no idea how wrong they are. They both start with F. The Onion really nailed it here. Story 27. I write or edit manuals and educational booklets. So nothing really. It is both specific enough and vague enough that people just go, "Oh, okay," and move on. Story 28. Teachers are brainwashing and indoctrinating our kids. Bro, I can barely get these adorable little troublemakers to bring a pencil to class. I am flattered you think I have that much power, but I can assure you I do not. Story 29. Kind of a niche thing, but mortgage servicing. The bank doesn't want to foreclose if you start missing payments, because then it's just another house they have to pay to maintain and ultimately sell, likely for a loss. It's much more viable for the bank and the homeowner to work together to see if you qualify for some form of loss mitigation to either modify your existing loan or vacate in a mutually agreeable way. And in addition, there are a lot of stringent and consistent regulations and laws governing the process from when you miss your first payment up until the end of the default episode, whatever that ending may be. Story 30. I work in the film industry, and no, we are not all just hanging out with celebrities. It is long hours of hard work behind the scenes. Story 31. Librarian here. No, we are not the ones sitting at the desk and just checking out books. Those are checkout clerks. To be a librarian in Canada or the US, you have to have a master's degree in the field from an American Library Association accredited university. We have at least 6 years of university and 2 degrees. In most places, we are the managers who work in the back running the place or doing highly specialized tasks like managing the collection. In universities, we are tenured faculty like the professors. We don't just sit around and read. We are actually professionals. Story 32. I work in digital marketing, and too many people do not understand the difference between marketers and web developers. I do not know how to code. I cannot troubleshoot your website from a technical standpoint. I cannot build you a website from scratch unless I use a service like WordPress or Wix, which you could probably do yourself. My job is to market your services to bring in customers and work on your search engine optimization or manage your social media. I can create content for your website and upload it, but if your website is erroring out and is totally broken, that's not my job, and I can't help you. Too many companies throw websites together and don't employ a web developer and get shocked when eventually their website just doesn't function. Also, not every marketer is a graphic designer. I'm relatively good at graphic design, but graphic design is often a job in itself. It's in the same vein that people who are graphic designers aren't always good at marketing. It's one thing to design and generate the content, and another thing to promote it well and bring in customers using it. Story 33. As a DoorDash driver, I have so many people ask me how I make a living off of it because I have to pay my own taxes. If you actually keep track of things such as money spent on car maintenance, money spent on gas, money spent on tires, oil changes, etc., as well as the actual mileage of how much you travel every day, you can deduct almost all of that from your taxes. This year, for example, my taxes would have been over $10,000 until I put in all those various deductions and then ended up having to pay less than $500. It's not as much of a drain to pay your own taxes as you'd think. You are basically legally considered an independent contractor in charge of your own job, which means you can take a lot of the deductions and whatnot that are offered to them legally. DoorDash themselves even encourage the use of a specific app that helps you keep track of mileage and money earned. And I keep track of the other things just in my phone's note app, such as how much I'm spending on gas and repairs. Story 34. I'm a tax attorney, and contrary to popular belief, my job isn't just about helping the rich get richer. It's about navigating complex laws to provide proper advice. Story 35. Unemployed and disabled, we want to work, but nobody will let us. Then they turn around and call us lazy parasites. Story 36. Working in a call center, people think it's just talking on the phone. It requires strong communication skills and emotional resilience. Story 37. I'm a barista, and no, it's not just pushing a button on a coffee machine. There's a lot of skill in making great coffee. Story 38. I work in retail, and the misconception that it's easy or a fallback job is frustrating. It requires serious multitasking and customer service skills. Story 39. So, I get all the anger over big pharma and price gouging, but the general distrust of human research that still persists today is unfortunate. I'm not even talking about the distrust from populations who have been harmed by it in the past, just people who have the misconception that it's a scam or the results are manipulated to make more money, etc. An example of this would be when Neuralink was in the news a month ago. There were massively upvoted comments insinuating the volunteer was paid off by Musk. I've got my own concerns about Neuralink, but device or drug study participants aren't paid outside of travel or lodging reimbursement. The amount of effort that goes into ensuring patient safety and the accuracy or correctness of data and research is actually quite huge, and so it's regretful some people distrust it so much. But yeah, the price gouging definitely contributes to that, as does the Tuskegee experiment, as does what they did to Henrietta Lacks and family, etc. I'm more sad to hear it than tired. Story 40. I work in logistics, and the idea that it is just about driving trucks around is so wrong. It is about critical problem solving and global coordination. Story 41. Teacher, that I'm indoctrinating kids. If I had that kind of power, I would make them understand math and wear deodorant. Story 42. I am a support worker for adults with complex learning and physical disabilities and have been for 7 years now. No, you don't just wipe bums for a living. I keep them alive and happy, giving them a quality of life filled with as much independence and choice as they can have. I treat them with dignity and respect while, yes, at times supporting them with personal care because guess what? They can't do it, so someone has to. It's such a tiny part of my job and the least bit interesting. Hardly anyone hears about the love, patience, acceptance, and humility the people I support teach me and give me every day. Story 43. As a journalist, I hate hearing that we all just chase sensational stories. Many of us are committed to ethical, in-depth reporting. Story 44. That I am paid a fortune because I am a doctor. Region specific, but where I am, this is not the case. Nor is the idea that patients pay my wages. If they did, I would petition them for a pay raise at the door or whenever they start abusing me, depending on which comes first.